So, good morning, everyone. Dear Demola's members, dear coordinators, dear Bill. First of all, I need to inform you that we want to record this event, so we need your authorization. If someone doesn't agree, please turn off the camera and delete your name during the session. Thank you very much. I start by greeting coordinators and facilitators of Demola Project. Thank you for your work and participation in the second IPS workshop. Welcome, Vil, CEO of Demola Global, and to all the participants, partners, students, and facilitators. So, as a president of IPS, it's a great pleasure to start this workshop, not only because it is the culmination of the Demola training, but also because of the importance of this project in the methodologies of pedagogical innovation that we want to implement in our institute. With this workshop, we intend to share the pedagogical learning of this group of facilitators. In each edition, IPS teachers and students participated in a partnership with organizations from different areas of the councils of mostly of Setúbal and Barreiro. As you know, IPS is a strong commitment to pedagogical innovation and organizational change. This project provides a strong incentive to the relationship with the region, a space of co-creation generated of challenge. For us, it's very important. We think this commitment is a strong contribution to a more competitive and inclusive region linked to the smart specialization strategy. So thank you very much for your commitment, for your works, and I think it's a good session today. Now I invite Vil, CEO of Demola Global, who follows the works, to say a few words. Vil, please.
Thank you, Angela, and good to see you, everyone. Like good to see you all dear friends. It has been already a while, and since seeing all of you. So with some of you, we were like having a kind of like call when me and Jan, we were at Tokyo Airport a couple of weeks ago. But then like with friends from last autumn season, like great to have you here, and of course like dear coordinators and Angela as well, kind of like happy to be here and happy to have you here. I was thinking over the weekend, in a way, couple of important things that I definitely want to share with you as well, and these are actually like very similar things. I was talking last week in France in an EU conference, as I was invited by the European Commission, and had a chance to also talk with the new Portuguese Minister of Higher Education and Science and Technology there. But I think this like because I think it's the same things in all the levels that makes this kind of the work we all do important, valuable, but bloody difficult. And I think this is definitely not easy. It requires a lot of sweat, what we all are trying to build. It's a long-term effort that I'm so thankful for all of your commitment, and especially the IPS commitment. Thanks to you, Angela, and everyone else in making it happen. But I think it also requires, because it's a long-term effort, sometimes it's a bit hard to see the impact and the results immediately. And it definitely requires coping with a lot of uncertainty, like you all know. In a way, things sometimes are not easy or clear, and quite often many great things starts by asking, like by saying is that we don't know what we should be doing, and keeping the open-minded approach. I think for us as humans, in a way, like this is sometimes super difficult. Like starting by admitting and being brutally honest on what are the things we don't know. And I think this is something that like you all have seen when working with the companies and enterprises as well, that it's very difficult for them as well when they are also put into the new situation when the outcomes may not be predefined, because only that is the way how we can exceed the expectations. If we define the questions we want to solve in advance, we're only looking at those problems and those issues and not looking beyond. Well, I think it's good to see Fernando here as well. Like last autumn, I remember we had an excellent conversation with us as a group about the critical thinking that you were rising so often, which is for sure super important and super important for our humankind and our society in a way that we don't take the things granted and we challenge the current ways of doing, which is totally something different than being critical or negative. Critical thinking is the opportunity for, and it's kind of the starting point for improving, and it's a starting point for positive thinking. And only the diversity of perspectives is like that's the kind of the only way how to improve. And I think this is something that we all need to remind ourselves and remind our students that they are not just students whose task is to solve existing problems defined by the seniors. But the beauty of being a junior is that you are not brainwashed yet. Well, that's a bit frankly saying, but you get the point in a way in this sense. So utilizing the outsider opinion, coping with the uncertainty and so on. And as we all know, there are no stupid questions. So challenging the way and asking the questions and following the curiosity. What also makes things very, very difficult is that in an innovation process, and like we have been exercising, we are purely speculating. It's not about looking what is fact and which is right and which is wrong, but it's about speculating about possible opportunities, conceptual things and opportunities we may face if we think in an ambitious way. But it's difficult. We all know that. An innovation work, and I think this Demola process as such, it's is kind of following the golden rule of the innovation work, which is something very different than what many people are talking often when you talk about the innovation. Sometimes innovation is considered to be that on one day the lamp is lit and the innovation is here. Someone has been making an invention, but it's rarely that. An innovation is very rarely happening suddenly overnight and just happening, but it's in most of the cases it's kind of a result of small discoveries along the way and a long efforts and investing a lot of love, sweat and tears into the game that just becomes visible on one day when things are becoming kind of ready enough. But it's not a result of a quick task, but it's a result of a lot of small discoveries and changing the way and pivoting and so on that typically leads into the greatest innovations and greatest development in our world. And I think this is why I'm highlighting this kind of a long story short is that we should not only look at what is being possible to be done in 8 weeks or in 10 weeks. But we should be seeing this as one small discovery on the path towards something much larger, much greater, and improving the ways. So for example, for a student participating in Demola process, it's a one small discovery where we're focused on conceptual thinking and improving, and we definitely want to make some of these things a habit in a way, every single season improving and so on. Same with our company partners, by getting them back always again and again. Every season they change something. They are more ready to kind of utilize the diverse perspectives, and it always helps them to guide themselves on the journey in the middle of the fog towards the kind of the innovative outcomes. And same for us, every one of us. So we should be focusing on the things, projects we are personally curious about. What are the content areas we care about? And even it's difficult, even it's time consuming, it would be fantastic to see you participating in the community next autumn again, or next year, next years to come in some way. So please let Nuno and Luisa and Angela and myself know what are your ambitions, and there are different ways to participate in the community and be curious and continue following the journey and contributing on with the time limit everyone has to has available. Then I think the just to conclude this kind of a short introductory talk is the ambition level. And if I'm having a look on our European society, I have very mixed feelings. Because on one hand, we in Europe, we are investing the most in innovation. We have all the building blocks in our democratic societies, which has been becoming visible in the latest times, but when having a look on how the world is going and what some undemocratic nations around us are doing. So I think we have all the building blocks, long history, everything around us to make kind of Europe, I shouldn't say great again, but making the 2.0 version of the European welfare state. But I think this requires that we push our ambition level higher. Because what makes me a bit stressed is that people are not ambitious enough in Europe when having a look on what happens in Asia or in US and so on. People are very progressively looking for improving things. May it be society, may it be industry, may it be business opportunities, but always reaching higher. And it's not about looking the financial gains only, but kind of improving our society. And I think this is the journey what we are all together here and doing, improving, hiring the ambition level all the time and challenging each other to kind of reach higher. But yeah, this was what I wanted to say in a way, and knowing that every one of you have been part of the process, I didn't want to go into technicalities, but focus on the a bit more philosophical part, because I truly and I sincerely believe it's super important, and it's the reason that drives us everyone further. And it's a long-term effort, but we know that we are all on the road, like right path towards Creative Portugal and Creative Europe. But I think, thank you everyone for your efforts. This was kind of my part, and I think back to Luisa or back to Angela. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vil. Thank you for your words. It's inspiring for us. It's a pleasure to work with you, and thank you very much. Now I invite the coordinators of Demola, Professor Luisa Carvalho and Nuno Pina, who will present and moderate the works in these workshops. So thank you very much for everyone. Thank you very much for your participation and your sharing. I wish you an excellent workshop today. Thank you. Luisa and Nuno.
Thank you, Angela. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Vil, for your introduction. You said a lot of things that we don't need to repeat, so thank you for this. I and Nuno will present a small presentation with some framework because will be important. Today we have some colleagues that will come aboard for next course, so maybe it could be also interesting. They know more about Demola in order to come more exciting for this next step. So I will share our presentation. Today we have two classes from Demola, our colleagues from second and third batch. and we want to sharing the experience from the Demola Project during this academic year. So Demola comes with 7 Portuguese technical universities, and Demola Global develop a model that supports these digital environments. We also have aboard some companies and other organizations, and in second and third batch editions, we have some profit and non-profit companies. We have in the whole polytechnics more than 100 organizations and students from different countries. And also with us today, we have our facilitators of the second and third batch that are lecturers from technical universities, and also our colleagues from professional schools. It is also a pleasure receive colleagues and make this approach and this more close contacts with the professional schools. This program is funded by Portuguese government using POCH funding. So Demola, it's a long life training, pedagogical innovative program. It's a co-creation program that for this process comes facilitators, our colleagues from IPS and professional schools, our students. We have students from IPS, but also from other polytechnical institutes, and also from different universities around the world. We have higher education, so in the context of an environment of higher education, and also organizations from private and public organizations. The different framework of this process allows focus on internationalization, digitalization and multiculturality, using some tools that allows a lot of classes and meetings are during the pandemic, but also in this second semester using digital tools. Engagement with stakeholders from our environment, our organization, companies, non-profit organization, and also expertise. In second edition, one of our colleagues worked with an expertise in the case study, and also focus on new skills that students must develop. They must be flex experts. So it's also important to develop knowledge in the core business of their activities, but also other soft skills that are very appreciated by labor markets. And this kind of program allows this possibility. So the training program in the nutshell, we have the Demola Global know-how and expertise. This slide is for Nuno. So the pedagogical tools for co-creation use some methodologies that some of teachers, facilitators already know, but Demola organized this in a different way, using brainstorming, prototyping, design thinking, and international network. For these, the teams were able to create co-creation process with cases and allows some reflection and evaluation of the process. using some best practices to implement co-creation in the curricula in the future, and also create an organizational culture for collaborative learning and co-creation in collaboration with organizations. So we have some WhatsApp groups, and it's interesting to see how the colleagues from different schools, some of them don't work in the past together, and now are developing some papers, working together. And it's interesting because this school changed the organizational environment in IPS. So it's a process for a long term that we want that be interesting for everyone. So in order to explain more about the program, I will pass to the words to the Nuno. Nuno, please.
Thank you, Angela. And Luisa. Can you pass the slide, please? Okay. First of all, good morning to all of you. I would like to thank you for being here, and thank you for some of you being part of this program, this project, and of being in those batches with all those difficulties and all those questions that you have been having all the time. And as Phil told, we have to have lots of doubts, lots of questions in order to be able to define new things and to be able to create innovation. So I would like first of all to explain you a little bit about the process. And the process is divided in 3 phases. You have the discovery phase, the ideation and prototyping phase, and the refinement package. And then you have a deliverable. As some of you may already know, at the end, we will have something, a deliverable, that usually it's called a demo, okay? So at the end, you may have some prototype, you may have some work done in a way that you can go further on investigating and innovating on the next process, or you may have some thoughts that can be used by all the partners. So you start with a case defined with some organizations that will help you saying a little bit of their big problems they have. And then what we do is to redefine those problems in a way that it will be a kind of big problems or big issues that can be studied and thought using this kind of methodology. So we start with the case, then the discovery process, the ideation and prototyping, and at the end we refine and we deliver. At the end we have a report, and that report usually is presented to the partners, and it's presented to Demola Global, and it's possible to continue working on that theme, on that phenomena later on at the end of this process. Can you pass? Yeah, thank you. So there are some events that usually are done. First of all, we have the kickoff, then you have the first and the second jam. And as you've been doing all this work online, these jams are done in a lighter way, but usually the idea is to collect information from what people have been doing and try to redefine a little bit things and to help in some way to narrow what people are working on. But we cannot forget the students and the way the students deal with the case and with the process. So usually, depending on the students we have, sometimes we have a kind of a different way of things. That's the main reason of this project. It's to have the students and to have their fresh and new ideas that will help us on innovation. So those jams will help us to guide them a little bit. And at the end, with the teamwork and the daily facilitation of 8 weeks, we end with the final demonstration. Next slide, please. Well, what are the major challenges? Well, coming from technical, social, or environmental, economic problems faced by public and private organizations. So those phenomena that people are in some way working on or do not have time to work on that and use these cases to do that. Then when people first speak about those phenomena, you start having the definition of the cases and you design those cases, and then with the students you start with the co-creation process that our professors will have the training for being a facilitator on this process. Next, please. Okay. Well, what are the main learning lessons? You have new pedagogical tools for teachers and students that we think that are very important to be used later on the lectures they usually have in our polytechnic. So it's very important to have new pedagogical ways of thinking and new pedagogical ways and tools to use with teachers and students. The engagement with local and national organizations is also really important, knowing what are their pains, what are their big problems, and trying to solve those phenomena a little bit. The promotion of entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial university, the idea is to be always ahead, and the internationalization and the reinforce of those entrepreneurial skills of the students. Thank you all for being here, and I'm going to pass to the second batch colleagues that will present a kind of resume of the work that they've been doing. Please, you can start with the second batch. So you have a presentation, yeah? So you can share that presentation and start presenting the second batch. With presenting, please.
I think I'm the first.
Okay, Bernardo, thank you.
Yes, hello Nuno. Good morning to you.
Hello, Bernardo.
It's excellent to be here with you today. It's nice to see all of your faces, not in physical presence, but it's always good. So I'm going to present very quickly our challenge, and I'm going to share a little presentation. So our challenge was kind of tricky because for me also, because it started from the point to know what it is permaculture. So our challenge started, it's called Design a New World with Permaculture. And we started with a question. How can we put permaculture like a mainstream? How can we tell people what is permaculture? And it's kind of difficult because permaculture, it's the junction between permanent agriculture and permanent culture. But it doesn't have a definition, one definition. So that's why it was tricky. So, but let me present the team. So we started with 4 students, and we ended with 2, Ozan and Rejan. Ozan was a Turkish, but taking his master's degree in Italy. And Rejan was a Brazilian taking his master in Porto. So everything was in English. So no Portuguese. No, not quite. Rejan didn't speak English, so we had to translate English to Portuguese. And of course, Ozan also just speaks English. So it was kind of tricky with the language, but we managed, and they worked together. It was excellent. So we worked with, I'm not going to talk about all of this, don't worry, but we worked not with an enterprise, not with a company, but with a project. The name was Libertate, Projeto Libertate. 2 excellent team members that we arranged, Pipo and Ruth. They talk excellent English, so it was easier for us. And they helped us to define, try to define what it is permaculture, to try to understand everything, because they do some workshops and all of this to put permaculture as a mainstream. So there were, I don't know, 15, I don't know how many weeks, but they were a challenge. We started with a sensation that we don't know what the hell we are talking about here. We don't know what the hell we are doing. So, so it's kind of, I know Vil had to be very patient, but we managed. And we worked together, and we ended. So it was excellent because, as I tell you here in this presentation, we gained a lot of experience. I think the main thing was to not be a teacher. A teacher try to lead, try to give the answer many times. So not here. We are not teachers. We are facilitators, and we try to manage. Try to put a little bit here, a little bit there, but going with the flow. And we learn a lot of things. I think it was excellent because we had a great work with Demola and with Vil. And I think our students did a good work. Sometimes they don't know where to be, so we have to guide them. But they managed to arrange an answer for the question that we had at the beginning. The main answer was try to put permaculture in schools and in enterprises. How can we do that? Well, they tried to arrange all of the things with a program that it's an international program. eco-escolas, and try to put permaculture or try to do workshops with eco-escolas and try to put it as a mainstream with that program, that international and national program. Okay. So I don't know if you have any questions. If anybody has any questions, I'm not sure what to say much more. I don't want to monopolize. So I think I said a little bit. Of course, there is much more, but I think it's enough for now. Thank you all.
Thank you, Bernardo. It was very much interesting to know what are your thoughts and what happened during this process. That it's really, as Phil told at the beginning, difficult and it's challenging. Okay, I'll pass to the next presenter.
It's me. Hi,
okay.
Everyone.
Hi, Celia.
So Alice, who is trying to enter in the session, was my colleague in this challenge. It was entitled Generation Z's Green Power. It was about circular economy. And we had this super team with 4 students, 3 girls and 1 boy, and they were all from Setúbal's IPS. The facilitators, me and Alice, and we had a partner from Imediza company, which was Maria João Gomes, who connected us to the company. And they were all very good and enthusiastic. The challenge was to solve a problem that this company had with some waste that was a clean waste. They work with plastic, and they cut the plastic, and it was a big amount of waste of that plastic that was clean, and they wanted a solution for it because it was a cost for them. And the challenge that we gave, that we presented to the students, was that they could have a words, they could solve this problem, and they could begin the circular economy in this company, this particular company. And they accepted the challenge. From our point of view, it was really a challenge because we are used to be teachers, as Bernardo said, and here we watch them to be able to respond to that challenge. And it was we were very skeptical about that, and we really thought that maybe we have to put our hands on, but it was really very good to see that as we were giving them not the skills, they had the skills, but as we were giving them some challenges in the weeks that's 15 weeks that they have a little bit less than 15 weeks, but they responded to them to this challenge. And the question is that we just have to know how to guide them, make the correct questions, and for the ones that are entering now, the what if questions are extremely important, and you'll see in the formation that you're going to do, because it was that questions that made our students understand and be able to create a great solution for this challenge. So we think that we had a great luck with our students. They all responded very well, and they created a team group. It was spectacular. They were from the same school, not from the same course. No, it was one from technology and 3 from social ciências empresariais. And they could be together physically, which I think also creates a group and a team spirit. And it was, we put here this day, this 12th November, that we visit the company, and it was a turning point for their work, because they could see the problem itself. They could understand what was the problem of the company. And we really consider this day as a turning point and the booster for their teamwork. So they weren't just thinking about the problem, they saw the problem. And it was a good day, because they really got very, very interested. So from students' point of view, and this is what we ask them to give their collaboration for this. They say that with the elaboration of the project that was proposed and with the access to several tools that were provided, it was possible to investigate and deepen the subject in question, the circular economy, because this was something that they've already heard, but they didn't have to work with it, and they find solutions for the problem. Through the pestle analysis that all the students have to do, and it creates a greater vision about the external variants that could affect the sector, and from there present the solutions. Also, they stated that this experience has given them several tools for the future by providing individual development and the spirit of mutual help and cooperation among the team. They are working for one objective, not as a student for their grade, but for a solution for the company, which I think it's very, very important these days. And well, they said that none of this would have been possible without the creation of Demola and the help of the facilitators, and also our partner, which was extremely helpful and always available to their questions. The solutions, just a quick idea of what they came to. They presented 4 solutions to the company, and one of them, we think it's a really good solution. It's an app that they designed. So it is more or less what we have here as when we have something to sell and we put on the app. I'm not remembering the name of the app, but it was if some company has leftover a waste that can be used by other companies, they put on the app, and it spreads, and it's available for all the companies that use that app. And we really think that this will boost the circular economy on the industry. They started this semester in polyimprint to be able. Their idea was to develop this app, and I think it has really potential. But with the tests and everything, with the student life, they told us yesterday that they had to leave the project, which is a pity, because I think it has really potential. But maybe they can start later this project. So it was a great challenge for us facilitators, and I think for the students too. And we thank Demola for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Salia. Okay.
Well, good morning to everybody. I don't know if when you see it, please tell me.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, our challenge was entitled The Roadmap to a Carbon Neutral City, and was a challenge created and developed with S Energia, which I present a little far away. The team was initially composed by S Energia, the proponent, several workers of S Energia were helped in the project. It was a very good experience, and we had 5 students: Felipe from Health School of Setúbal, Angélica, a Brazilian student, Joana and João were students from my school, Barreiros School of Technology, and Clayton was a student from, I think, Instituto Politécnico Porto Alegre. It's a Cape Verde student, but unfortunately he disappeared along the process. We tried to contact him, but it wasn't possible. So we finished only with the 4 students, and the team was composed by me and Fernando Angelino. Well, the project was proposed by S Energia because they had been challenged by the local the local enterprise from Barreiro, the Bahia Tejo, and they challenges us to think about this huge amount of territory that is with huge problems, and they want to give it to the people, to the city. So how could this be done? Well, this was our challenge. There were lots of questions around it. I put it here. I'm not going to read them a lot, but this was the presentation of the challenge to the students. And then this is the big team at a meeting. Several of us. There was Clayton yet in this stage. Well, presenting the company, S Energia is a regional energy agencies of the countries of Barreiro, Moita, and Montijo. Its mission is centered in the promotion of energy efficiency, the use of renewable endogenous resources and the rational use of energy and so on, and plays an active role with the municipalities supporting that energy environmental strategy and encouraging other local actors in the region. So they understand a lot of the problem, but they had no time to think about it. So this was a good solution for us. Here I have to say that me and Fernando were not teachers or knowers of these problems. It's out of our range of knowledge. And I think when I do when I think on the process, I think this is a good option, not to know anything about the subject. What were the team's learnings for the students? It was we felt that they loved to work with colleagues with different cultures and knowledges, learning on unknown areas different from those of their expertise. One of those said, "These have been an amazing opportunity to dialogue with people in different areas of work with the same purpose." For us, the facilitators, we learned to undress the teacher's role and become a facilitator. We had the ability to support the team and to help on difficult project steps. Playing the role of facilitator is easier when the problem is not within our area of expertise. I think so, or we think so. And for our partner, the availability for dialogue with preconceptions, time to be present on week meetings, this is important, I think. And for them, it was good to have the ability to listen and accept out-of-the-box solutions that were presented at the final. For in the point of view of the students' learning, there are, I put here 4 major settlements made by them in their final report. And all, I think, expresses the same. It's very good and interesting to work with different people of different cultures and of different knowledges. And this is a very challenging part of the project. For the conclusions that they achieved, they proposed for raising a fund supported by the contributions of local citizens in Baía do Tejo. This would enable to support projects in area that sink carbon, strengthening the civic and patriotic spirits of the Portuguese in their important contribution for a more sustainable world, and the promotion and adoption of the blockchain technologies to reduce carbon footprint and sensitive society for the impact of their actions. There are several points, but I think it's not necessary to appoint all of them here. And this is for our presentation, me and Fernando, for this meeting.
Thank you, João. The next presentation, please.
It's me, if João stops to share. Hello, everyone. So our team, the facilitators, our team worked with the title Spirulina Green Food for Health. The facilitators were me and Fátima Serralha, and our team was composed by 4 students. And as you can see, our team was gender balanced, 1 master's student, 3 bachelor program students. And we start with 4 students and we've ended with 4 students. So in this aspect, it was very positive, this challenge. We work with a company, Tomar Natural, owned by Anna and Luis. This is a family company, is a small company dedicated to the production of sustainable and artisanal spirulina. Spirulina is a cyanobacteria. It's called microalgae and just needs water and CO2 for growing. So it's really very easy microalgae to cultivate it. It's has been considered by the World Health Organization as one of the best food nowadays due to its rich content in proteins, and it contains almost all the essential amino acids and also all the essential minerals that we need in our diet. As we need, all of us need to include proteins in our diet. Most of them are coming from animals, and is leading us to a non-sustainable food system. So this innovative and sustainable food could be an opportunity for us to balance our planet and to balance our diet. The artisanal spirulina is produced in small amounts, so maybe the price is a little bit higher, but in opposite, the taste is very good. And this is quite different from the industrial spirulina, where the taste is not so good as that, but of course the price is lower. So our challenge, it was how might we increase the consumption of artisanal Portuguese spirulina as a conscious food, healthy, with quality, sustainable, and also considering a local and regional product. So our team, it was quite dedicated and motivated to work on this and follow all the insights and what ifs that the team worked and identified. It was possible to establish a partnership with Chef Daniela Polido from the Tourism School of Setúbal, and she and her students developed some innovative recipes using spirulina. And as you can see from these sweet and salt recipes, the images are really appetizers. And the conclusion from our students and also from our team, it was that the green food is healthy, ecological, and good. And the ecological comes here because spirulina, as you noted, is green. And the acceptance of green food as being also challenging for the sellers and the producers of spirulina. And it was quite interesting to identify that this green food is correlated with the notion of ecological and health. So as you can see from this green tasting food, it seems in fact healthy, ecological, and so good. I forgot to say that I will share this presentation with Fatima, and so she will speak from now on.
I'm continuing now. Yes, in fact, the overall outcomes from the company are the high satisfaction with the achievement of the challenge. Wait, please, slide 4, Helena.
Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Like Helena has said, we to develop innovative recipes, and we obtain a good hands feedback. It was positive to have green food. In future, we planned to develop a spirulina recipe ebook, and we pretend to develop a technical research with a company. Slide 5. Has a global learning outcomes from the point of view. Sorry. Sorry. For us, for the facilitators, we develop a facilitating skills and learning about collaboration, co-creation, and learning to guide students and partners, management expectations, and learning about the use of new online tools. From the point of view for students, they develop co-creation, technical and communication skills, and they learn to look a problem for several perspectives and the detailing the pastel analysis. And they learning to use a new online tools like Atlas, a Miro, a Canva. And the point of view of the partner, I think for them, they improve to identify meaningful insights and to open a new ideas and develop ability to listen the others. In conclusion, for the future, for us as a teachers, we also intending to increase the experiences of collaboration in companies like industries, and develop a co-creation methodology and multidisciplinary approaches for facilitation to develop new skills with our students in our future classes. And we pretend to increase research with the spirulina in an approach sustainable, and it is important to establish the strategic networks inside in IPS or in another polytechnics for the development of other projects. We pretend, and finally, you would like to thank Demola teams and IPS and our second batch teams. Thanks for all. Congratulations for all.
Thank you, Fatima.
Good morning, everybody. I think you are seeing the presentation?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Now I will start to present the team. It was 5 students from Polytechnic of Setúbal, from the School of Technology of Setúbal, from 3 different courses. So it was a Portuguese team. Bruno, Catarina, Diogo, Felisberto e Nuno. The company representative was Nuno Maia from CESA, was the company that presented us as the challenge. And the team from facilitators was me and Professor José Pires from secondary school near Sines. I don't recall the name.
Sant
André, okay, thank you. And the challenge was named by the facilitators the Path of Stones, because it was proposed by Cecil, and the main issue was to how can we compatibilize the presence of a cement factory in a natural park, because we need the jobs, we need the money, we need the good things of the industry, but we don't need the smoke, the dust, the holes in the mountain. So it's a challenge, very, very demanding, and we couldn't find a way, but we tried to give ideas to minimize the impact. So how can we conciliate the industry in a natural park? Because we don't and we couldn't put the facility in another place near the doors of the other people, because it's not the correct and
No problem.
Yes. Okay. So trying to list the developed or applied skills from the facilitators, we divided in three parts. Interaction with the surroundings, because it's necessary to contact several companies for collaboration. It's not a comfort zone for everybody, so it's a very important skill that it must be developed and applied. Promote interaction with the selected company to define the challenge and following the rules, write it in an appealing way that students can select it. It's very important. Team building and management, based on their training and motivation, select the best elements for the team among the students, candidates. Selection is not easy because there are several situations, and we in our team try to select people that express the point of view. Some of them were very they have a very position of criticism to Cecil. So it was good to have that element in the team. Unfortunately, the team was not received too many candidates. We have selected 5. It were 7 initially, 8, but 2 of them were selected by other teams. So we had only 6, and finally we selected 5. Promote development of self-knowledge of the team members. It was a skill that must be applied by the facilitators. Manage conflicts and stimulate the creation of strong mutual trust. It's very important that they trust the team must be strong and confident and not be suspicious of one each other. According to their personal characteristics, guide the students in the best distribution of roles in the team. It's very important also. Supervise the work carried out by the team, intervening essentially to ask questions, and whether necessary to share information, alert to the alternatives, points of view, or manage the interaction with the company representatives. Sometimes it's necessary. About the analysis and work conclusions, guide the team in the analysis and reflections, individual and collective, carried out, and all the information collected about the challenge. It's very important to guide them in this situation. Ask the appropriate questions. How might we? What if? And help the team to reflect on the signals, trends, and evidence to create possible future scenarios. And follow the team in the final report and summarize the main conclusions about the challenge proposed by the company. For the students, essentially they have the motivation to participate, willingness to face new challenge. It's very important that they have this perspective of life. Ability to invest some of the free time in unfamiliar challenge. They don't know what would be the work. It's very important to have that kind of spirit. Don't fear the unknown. They don't know what would be expected from them. Just like the facilitators, we don't have that kind of information in the beginning. Know yourself, the students, and make others believe in the ability and knowledge, because they have to sign up for the challenge, and they must write up the summary and motivation for the team. So they must convince the facilitators that they are a good choice. So it's very important they know themselves. Desire to learn more, and with all of available experience. This is a new and innovative experience. As a member of the team after the selection, trust and be trusted. It's very important. Be proactive and share information collected in an organized way. Present and define and defend their own ideas and conclusions. Sometimes in the group there are issues that must be discussed, and they must defend their ideas, not accept everything from the others. Demonstrate the ability to listen and reflect on team members' ideas and conclusions. They must have an opinion also from the others' ideas. Participate in a group discussion and not be afraid to be a dissonant voice. Sometimes there are elements that are in the no way position. So it's good because they activate the others to defend their ideas. It's very important. Demonstrate the ability to assimilate and accept everyone's contributions in order to have a free and open debate to filter those that will be assumed by the team. The team must be in agree with the final ideas. It's very important. Have the ability to learn, to lead the team and play the other necessary rules. Sometimes we have changes a little bit in the team, several rules. Learn and use the available computer tools. It was very important, the Miro, essential, the Miro. Canva, I think it's Canva, not Canvas. Excel, Word, PowerPoint, managed team, the teams, the Zoom, it was platforms that were used by the team. Be able to synthesize the ideas and present them objectively and clearly. It's very important to present to the final report. Develop a collaborative work of writing a report to summarize the conclusions of the work developed by the team. Be able to present the summary of the team's work findings in the company in a public session. It is scheduled for the next meeting of the Comissão de Acompanhamento Ambiental Assessor, that this work would be presented by the team. I hope the team it's not scattered around when this meeting will happen, but let's see. But it's one objective for us and for the students and for the company. For the company, motivation. Get the vision of young people on an issue that concerns the company. It's their activity that it depends on it. Receive alerts and unpredictable or unidentified situations. Collaborate in the training of a young higher education students. It's very important that they interact with the student community. During the participation, provide information considered relevant to frame the proposal challenge. Attend meetings to participate in students' team analysis and reflections. It's very important. The team does not work for the company. It's very important that the company knows that. The students won't be collaborators, won't be transmitting the ideas that they want. No, it's the students' ideas. It's very important. They are free of thinking. It's very important. And does not solve the problems of the moment. It's future problems. But it helps the company in the future perspective, and present a company member in the meeting is an important link because of that. Benefits. Benefits depends on many aspects and how the company values them, because they could listen and don't care, or they could listen and value the presented ideas. There were signs and trends that can be identified, and the company may or not may value that. The main ideas was explained to the company by the final report, essentially. One of the several were presented, but I primarily alert with several. The need for a better communicate to the population, the great develop work for mitigating the environmental impacts of their activities, especially in the landscape of Serra da Rábida, because they are doing a great job. I think everybody and the team during the visit that was made to the facilities of the industry, and in the zone of where the stone is collected from the Serra da Rábida, and they conclude that they are working, they are trying to solve the problem, the ambiental problems, but it's not, I think it's not enough. And the team concludes that. They need to return the recovered areas to the population for sporting or recreational activities. It's necessary to involve the population and to develop the activities in the recovered zones of the Serra da Rábida. The risk that new trends in sustainable and environmental friendly housing construction will reduce the use of cement. It's a tendency that was identified, and the risk of a growing environmental awareness of the populations, sometimes extremist, forcing political decision makers to change the legislation that regulates these industries. So it could be difficult in the future to sustain the facility, the industrial facility in the natural park. The future, application of the Demola methodology in classes. We think that in the basic training curricular units of the degrees, such as mathematics, mechanics, electricity, thermodynamics, it seems to be very high challenge the complete application of this methodology. I think it's very difficult to apply. But currently only a few degrees have curricular units such as portfolio, in which students can easily get involved in challenge where the methodology is applied. This is very important to have this kind of curricular units in the degrees. Portfolio students should be encouraged to participate in challenge in the technical areas of their training, eventually not in all challenges, but to complete their skills. Working in the multidisciplinary groups, it's very important to participate in multidisciplinary groups to develop some skills. All in the future, all IPS courses or degrees should have a portfolio to allow more students to join the multidisciplinary groups to work on challenge proposed by companies. And it could be in IPS internal degrees to have shared groups to work in several challenges. Create better conditions for facilitators and students to participate in new challenge as a way to acquire new skills and bring the IPS closer to companies. And that's my presentation, The Path of Stones from CESE. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you very much, Nuno. We'll continue with the next presentation.
From second batch, there are no more.
For the third batch now. I think the second batch has shown very well the main results they obtained, and they explained very well what are the main challenges, what are the main issues. So it was very good. Now we're going to continue with the third batch. And
no.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot one thing. This batch are presenting this work, this challenge to an article, pedagogical article in the CNAPS. So at least will be presented in July, and after that we will write up the article for the CNAPS report.
That's really a very, very interesting result. Very good result. So I think that it's one of our very, very interesting outcomes and outputs that this project can lead to. Okay, thank you very much. And congrats to all of you on the second batch. Let's continue with the third batch, please.
Who will start? May I start?
Yeah, you can start, Boguslav.
Thank you. I'm not used to present to Zoom, so I don't know if you are able to see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you a lot. Thank you for the colleagues from the second batch. It would be very important for us to know some issues before we start, because we find also some issues that you presented to us. Our project was me and my colleague Maria Luisa Silva, was better early care in countryside, and I would like to express my thanks for the president of the Junta de Freguesia de Grândola Santa Margarida da Serra, Mrs. Fatima Luzia. I don't know if she is able to be here. She was very interesting to participate in the present in person on this conference. She was very inspired for us, and it was inspiration when we are looking for the challenge. So this better care was inspired by some program that Junta de Freguesia ran, is still running on the countryside. Our team was international team. We had a Benil, she is doing master in the pedagogical issues. George Marcos is a student from Autonomous University of the social science. Isabella and Pavel are from Poland. They are doing their master in the Setúbal, but they are engineer. And Leah is from Germany, and she's doing undergraduate study she was doing, because they just returned. So it was our team, and two facilitators, myself and Maria Luisa Silva. So let's start. I don't know. Oh, I had some difficulties. Sorry. I want to present some things from the students' point of view, some positive things and some difficulties, because I would like to present some issues about the process. So students on their reflection on the one of the ending meetings pointed some positive things, like working in the international interdisciplinary team, like they enjoyed a lot of challenge. They are not used to work on this kind of issues. At least 3 of them never thought about the elderly before. They learn a lot. They raise a lot of awareness about the project and about the different approaches. I may also sign below some findings that Nuno presented about some difficulties that teams had, like the organization one, like dividing the issues, dividing the challenges, like communicational ones, because we had some we had in the beginning 6 students from Brazil, and she doesn't speak English. It was very difficult, and then dropped out because of the personal problems. Also a cultural challenge, because the students are from different countries, but also from different approaches for the teams and from different areas of studies. And of course, it wasn't so good to have all meetings online, because when we are starting with team, I think that it's very important to have this personal connection and personal experience to meet each other. So it was some difficulties also from this. But we may point some very interesting changes, individual changes concerning the elderly. I put some quotes from my students. Big surprise because I got my wake with elderly in my neighborhood. I never thought about elderly before. Or even I have to visit my grandmother more often. It was really funny, and for us it was very important, this positive change we found in our students. Concerning the partner organization, they pointed the importance of the external look for the problem. They like very much the assertiveness of the report. Students also prepared 2 videos, one in Portuguese and one in English, and I will mention it after because it was important for the next steps. They also find some interesting ideas, and some findings were in line with observed ideas, and all of them considered that the report and students finding exceed expectations. For us, I think that it was very. It's difficult in the beginning to give students the freedom to make mistakes. We are not prepared for this because we are always had some kind of paternalist approach that we give students results, and it's very important for us not to give them results that indicate path, and see then they make mistakes and they correct these mistakes. It was very important. Another thing is important. It's look for the teams a whole, not an individual students, and it's very important because we know that in teams some people work more and some work less, and we have to, at least we decided to do like this, to treat this team as a role, and team has to organize themselves, has to organize all things, and all responsibility was applied to the team. Of course, we enlarge our knowledge about the aging. This methodology, I think that it's possible to apply it in some findings and some classes. We had very important cooperation, me and my colleagues, and probably we will work together in the future, and opportunity, of course, to extending experience. And in the future, we had, as I told, our student prepared video. We present this video to the municipality, and students find some very interesting and innovative proposal, but also some feasible, almost immediately feasible proposal. For example, like provedor, the representative of elderly, municipal representative of elderly near the municipality. We just challenge municipality to organize this representative and to prepare also the site, designing all to elderly with all information, because it's very important. We are also organizing the seminar, and it will not be only a seminar, it will be one day of activities of elderly, of 11th of October. I had a meeting this week with responsible from the municipality, and it's closed. this day. So we will organize some activities in the morning and the round table and in afternoon. We will present also the video in Portuguese video students prepared, and I hope that municipality will be able to announce to creation this representative of elderly and to announce also the site for the elderly people. So, and it was all. Of course, our partners are very interesting to enlarge a cooperation with Polytechnic Institute of Setúbal. So they are now more awake for this possibility and challenging us a lot. So I hope that we will be able to answer this challenge. And I think that all of this was very positive for us and for students. And of course, we will also invite students, 1 or 2 students who is still in Portugal, to participate on this activity of the seminar of 11th of October, and we will see what happened now. But I think that it was a very positive finding and the very, very positive results. And thanks a lot. Thank you.
So who is going to present the next?
I can do it if you want.
Okay, Sandrina, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, I think you are seeing my screen now. Yes. Okay, so this is the final picture that I took with my students and the private company representative. So I'm gonna briefly present the Demola project that we had for the 10 working weeks in this current semester. As you know, it was a remote project, and the main challenge was settled around these 2 research questions. So considering the electric vehicles value-adding factors, first of all, what will be the future key performance metrics from the consumer point of view, and how will the electrification and emphasis on software change the way we view cars? So these were the 2 main research questions for starting this big challenge. The team that we had was composed by 4 students, 1 private company on the field of motor vehicles performance enhancement, and me as a facilitator of this project. The team was indeed international and also multidisciplinary. So we had 2 students from France, 1 from Romania. These 3 students were doing Erasmus mobility in IPS. And we also had a Portuguese student, native from Moldova. So it was really international. And then also multidisciplinary, because 2 of the 4 students were master's students. The first one doing qualitative competitiveness engineering and management, and the other one marketing field. And also 2 undergraduate students, 1 in business administration and the other one in electronic and computer engineering in the School of Technology. So this team ended a Demola process, as you know, composed by online weekly meetings, but also and mostly autonomous work that they had to do either independently or especially as a group. And we had some supporting tools for the collaborative part of it. It was advisable to use Miro or something similar, and for communication, Demola Chat. So regarding some learning and pedagogical experiences from this facilitated process, thinking on the partner involvement, First of all, I would like to highlight the good initiative of having the founder and the CEO of the private company PKE Automotive, which is located in Moita, in Setúbal region. So he was open for an interview with the students, and it really was useful for the students to make the right questions just at the beginning of the project. Then we also had an online final meeting with the partner organization, so students had the opportunity to discuss and share the findings. The stakeholder also reflected with them and gave them feedback. So in my opinion, it was really useful for the students, especially because it gave the students the feeling that their project had a real sense. Less interesting or more challenging was the Demola focus, at least in this third batch, was on a meso or a macro level perspective. So companies were asked to reflect upon their strategic interest areas, but on a societal or industrial level, where usually design thinking tends to involve co-creating solutions for company-specific problems or challenges. So we had somehow to try to better deal with partners' expectations on this Demola way of co-creating. And personally, what I tried to do was to involve the project partner from the outset. So from the team building, the challenge form, the design brief, and especially involve the partner in key activities that allow to better elucidate that these meso or macro level perspective. For instance, the students' first task they had on identifying the stakeholder or user group identification. So we shared that result with a partner in order for PKE to know that, okay, they were one of a big network of stakeholders that could be involved in this project. We also shared the MEAD report, key findings and insights with PKE, and of course the final report was also shared, highlighting the inspiring signals and the reasoning behind these results. So somehow it helped to better clarify this macro and meso level perspective. Regarding students' engagement and involvement in the project, first of all, indeed having a multidisciplinary team, in my opinion, so different backgrounds but a common interest on electric vehicles contributed for the team's engagement. Regarding the small group size, so we had 4 students since the beginning and till the end, but at the end it didn't help as much as I thought it could help for the engagement, because this was probably my biggest challenge in this in the facilitation of this project, because not every student was involved in every single activity from the very beginning. So that there was some difficulties in putting students to interact with each other. Probably the language barrier was sometimes a challenge. Also, the new use of software options was useful. Microsoft Teams for communicating, the Miro, but students tended to prefer the Google Docs. Demola Chat was useful for me to reach the students when we had not the online weekly meeting, so outside that. But again, for them to communicate and interact, they didn't often use Demola Chat. They preferred other sources. So it revealed probably an explanation for not much interaction as I wanted. But again, building trust and promoting autonomy was more difficult than I thought, but at the end, it was definitely rewarding because they ended up delivering all the activities they had to do, and they did it on time. My own reflection of this facilitation process. So first of all, positive that at the end I had the feeling that I learned the way of design thinking and the Demola methodology. So I was also able to lead the group in their step by step. So that was really cool. Strategically, throughout the project working weeks, the first task or the first moment was to weekly plan what they were going to do. And of course, we had the 10-week training, teacher training. But after that, I tried to prepare PPTs with what students needed to do on a weekly basis, to somehow help them to know, and most importantly, to understand what they had to do. Of course, necessary adjustments were also weekly made if needed. So after each online meeting, there was a concern to do a check on all the to-dos to see if some changes were needed to be made. But of course, facilitation also meant focusing on the ideas and the workflow of the team by engaging them both in discussion and reflection exercises. And of course, as already said today, facilitation is a challenge, especially when we consider our traditional role as a teacher, as a lecturer, but of course it's more aligned with the student-centered teaching and learning environment. So that should be the focus. So my final conclusion and recommendations is, of course, first of all, either partner staff, student members, and me as a Demola facilitator, we at the end have all learned by working collaboratively. So that was a big improvement. We also think that students in particular, they have developed specific skills during this Demola co-creation process. First of all, they improve their communication and reflection skills because they had to speak in group, to do small presentations, to reflect upon their decisions, to do their self-reflection, and also give feedback to each other. So definitely rewarding. Also cooperation, as we know, as a core of Demola meant working together as a teammate. Even though that was not as successful as I wanted, but nevertheless they improved their way to cooperate during and the online weekly meetings and after that. Also finding the right ways for communicating also helped them to be more self-efficacy and also to manage their time as they had some deadlines to accomplish, and they did it. And finally, in order to enhance cooperation and joint reflection, probably a Demola hybrid project would be mostly welcomed. And alternatively, if not possible, an hybrid Demola project, probably an onboarding week on a face-to-face scenario could have helped to improve the teamwork and communication, and or prepare some warm-up games or icebreakers in the beginning of the weekly sessions in order to help them to know each other better and to engage more confidently in the task they had ahead. So that's it. Thank you.
So maybe we can, thank you, Sandrina. Maybe we can continue with another colleague from third batch.
So I will start presenting our project. So we start with the healthier food. We were trying to engage the students to promote the healthier food. So we were working with 9 students. It was very difficult because some students don't have, they are in Erasmus project in Setúbal, and they didn't have projects. All them go through our project. So we start with 9 students, and there was 1 Portuguese marketing student and 6 from Poland. 2 were doing master degrees, and the other 4 for the ordinary student, and 2 from Slovenia. Our part, it was a project with me and Ana Pereira. She couldn't be here today, but we have the partner, the organic farm, our partner. It's an agriculture farm, and produce onions and blueberries. So blueberries are good for the healthier food. So we choose the blueberries. The CEO of this farm are here. It's Sergio Narciso. It's present on the presentation. He's seeing all our projects. So let's advance. So we start to trying to aspects of healthier food. We need to have good elements for all our nutrition, and blueberries, as I said first, it's very good to that kind of project. Oops. And then, I have spoken about this point. Okay, I have spoken here. So our team visit the farms in the middle of the project and contact the Sergio, and they like a lot. And our stakeholders, the students defined to be the athletes, children of little age, and primary school children, and middle-aged school children, and the university students. That was the stakeholders. So and then they find the solutions, and the solution for the little children was to involve in activities, in outdoors activities, and to plant trees, collect the blueberries, and work with the community, and that was a solution for healthy food. For the teenagers, the solution was to make a TikTok dance and song to promote the healthy food and the blueberries. For the university students, promote through a Facebook page the benefits of blueberries, promote through an Instagram page, and create videos and posts with healthy recipes with blueberries. One was jam. Finally, the athletes, they don't need motivation for healthy food, so it was very good to promote online video conference or podcasts teaching to the benefits of blueberries. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Aníbal. I think we have one more colleague to present. Nelson, are you able to present?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I will share my presentation. Okay. So, my project was about business models to reuse bulky waste. bulky waste it's what we call in Portuguese monos. It is like furniture and that we don't want, and people don't sell it in the second market, and they throw it away. This is called bulky waste. Sometimes this bulky waste is in a good condition. So the challenge was provided by the Valor Sul company, that is a huge company in Portugal that manage waste, and they want to have the idea was to have more or less a business model to know what to do about this bulky waste, because this bulky waste in Portugal are responsibility from the municipalities, and sometimes the people throw away and don't call the municipalities. It depends, of course, of the person and the municipalities. Typically, the municipalities don't charge this service. This is a free service. But people in many places threw the bulky waste away and put sometimes in the streets. So it is estimated that in Portugal 220,000 tons of bulky waste are produced per year. And this was the challenge. How would it look like as a service for the consumers? How could we use social media or digital platforms to promote the sales or donations? This was the challenge for the students, and the students, of course, they applied. So the facilitation started by doing the design for the students. I don't remember the exactly name, but it was project design, something like that. The project involved the Valor Sul company. I turned the project global, so I don't focus only in the Portuguese students. There were several candidates applied, and I chose 6 students. But curiously, none of these students were Portuguese. All of them were from other nationality. Of course, 4 of them were in Portugal studying because were Erasmus students. And all candidates, I don't know why, they had all business studies background. So it was a requirement at the beginning to have a multidisciplinary team with different backgrounds, but it was not possible in my case. So I thought they are from different countries. It is enough to have these different backgrounds and are not multidisciplinary in the sense of studies. So they were all of them were from business. But since they study in different schools, maybe this will bring some multidisciplinary background. I thought. So the team was this one. I'm the facilitator. So we had a student, Chinese student. He has a European name, is Costa. He adopted the Chinese, typically they adopt a European name, and his name was Costa, but the real name was Mushwan Du, but he preferred to be called Costa. He is from Hong Kong University. Then we had Merlin. Merlin was German, but he was in Erasmus in the Oulu University of Applied Science in Finland. So he was a German guy in a Finland university. We had, and now at the right side, we have our 4 Erasmus students. Was Claudia and Camila, both are from Poland. Then we have Elodie. Elodie was shy, she didn't send our picture, so sorry for that. And Bram de Vries, he was from the Netherlands, and he started speaking about a little bit about this team, Bram started 1 week and a half, I think, later, because he was distracted from something, and when he started, it was already late. Can please someone has, I think, Anibal, you have the micro, someone has the micro on, and it's confusing me. Please, can you turn it off, please? And this was the students team and the facilitator. We had also some team members from the company. They are not here. We had 3 or 4 persons from the company that sometimes they appear in the meeting, and they contribute in the mirror board. And this was very quite this was a nice team, and so we go for the Demola experience. So we started working. We had the first the initial meeting. Then in the initial meeting we schedule a meeting. We choose a day to meet every week. Then Bram was late, and when Bram appeared, we needed to change, and it was a confusion because no one had the same to schedule meetings. It was completely crazy. So this was the last. I think it was the only negative point that for me it was for the whole process, because the experience was very positive in my opinion. The students were truly engaged, motivated. I'm sorry, there are some errors in the mistypo because I was preparing 10 minutes sooner before the meeting, so there are some mistypos. The students find the path to deal with their differences. It was quite nice to see that we had from the meeting there appeared to be a natural leader, and he was managing all the tasks, and he was dividing the work between the team, and it was quite nice because the other students respect him, and it was and went very well. So they were different, of course. They are from different nationalities, and they find the path to deal with their difference. That I was curious about the Chinese guy, because the time zone were quite different, and he was for the meetings at 2 o'clock and 1 o'clock, because there are 8 hours of difference, I think, and he was always in the meetings, and we were worried because it was very late for him, but it was okay. So it worked well. The student managed. They say at the end, I asked them in the last meeting when we were also with the partner, what was their experience, what were the good points and the positive points and the negative, and they all mentioned that they learned to manage the working teams, working in and managing their time. So because they didn't have time management, so they learn to manage their time, the work that tasks, divided the tasks and join to discuss it. They learned that, and this was a positive point from the process. they were always on time, and the task that they deliver, I was looking, and I think in my opinion, it were from high standard, so it was very, very. Alguém pode tirar o som à Maria Luísa Silva, quem tiver privilégios da reunião, se faz favor. The negative, obrigado. The negative points. I don't know how I've managed this, but I had a gender balance in the team. So I had 3 girls and 3 boys. So it happens, but it was very funny in the meetings that the girls never turned the cam on. Maybe they turned the cam on 1 or twice, because I was asking them to turn the cam on several times, and one day I quit. So if you don't want to turn the cam on, okay, don't worry. But I know that the girls were there because they speak, of course, in the micro, but most of the time I didn't see them because they were very shy, and I don't know why. It's maybe the girls have I don't know. Maybe they don't like to be to see their image. I don't know. As I already said, what is for me the main problem was the scheduling meetings. That was very challenging. So in general, the students were very satisfied with the process, the whole Demola process. Of course, they were wondering some parts of the co-creation process, because it was not always clear what to do, but they read the tasks. I helped them to give some inputs, and they did the work, and they delivered the tasks all on time and run well. The company was at the end, at the final meeting. They were very happy with the work developed. Some parts of the process, the work, they were very satisfied with the digital tools that they presented for the company, and asked the students to go further in the future to work in this, not let this project fall down, but to work in other type of experience, to continue to work with this topic. The facilitator, in my case, I learned new tools because the Demola co-creation process has some tools that I never heard about it, because I'm from engineering background, so I never hear what is the empathy map. So I learned also some parts of the process I was learning also, and at the end the result was very positive. But I think in my case I was very lucky, because all the team were very engaged, and there were no conflicts between them. They were always discussing the tasks and the topics, the tasks in a very friendly way, and very productive and very friendly. So I think I was lucky with the team, and so thank you very much. I recommend who wants to join for the next program, to the next batch. I recommend it, and you will learn a good process, that I think it was a good experience. I will not repeat it again, because I don't have enough time to do it, but maybe next year, if we have not next year, but in the future. If I have more time, I will repeat it again. Thank you very much. So.
Thank you, Nelson. I don't know if you have more colleagues. According with my accountability, I don't have anyone more, because Lucia and Carlos cannot present today. Okay, I think we finished the third batch. Thank you very much for everyone. Just a little resume. It was interesting to see that we have several cases that developed business models with social or with environmental impact. So people are engaged in to create value, not just economic. Of course, economic value, it's very important, but also value for society in other dimensions. So now we have space for questions and answers. I think Will wants to say something. Please, Will.
No, thanks, Luisa, and thanks everyone. It was fantastic to hear about the projects and your experience and reflection as well. I would like to encourage you to think one topic which is what's for new Demola projects from your personal perspective. So, what would be the topic, question, opportunity, change to explore that you would personally like to participate as an expert or follow up, and not if but when you come up with good ideas, please let me know, and so on, because we're soon starting to build the new portfolio for the next autumn, still in July, and then finalizing it like early September. So if you have any great ideas or any proposals, please let me.
I don't know if someone wants to comment.
And do not feel any pressures to kind of tell no, but also in the coming weeks and months, if there are any ideas, you can anytime send me an email or call Nuno or whatever. So at any moment, all ideas are.
It is a follow-up question. Okay, I think Boguslava wants to say something.
No.
You put your hand.
Yes, I didn't realize. Sorry.
Okay. Anyone more have questions or some comments? No one wants to.
Probably just a big thank for all the opportunity that we had, not only for the 20-week teaching training, but also the opportunity to have the practical experience of being a facilitator. It's so probably a motivating word for the new facilitators that we will have in the next semester. It is really worthwhile, and it pays off. So I think that at the end, no matter how difficult the process might be, at the end we tend to see that there are more good than bad things. So and more importantly, we tend to reflect in our own career and the way we do the teaching. So please go for it.
Thank you, Sandrina, for your encouraging words.
Just one word. I think from the third batch, we have to thank Jan for the facilitation. Jan was exceptional and helped us a lot. I think that talking for the all third batch colleagues, It was really good, and it was really helpful for us. So thanks a lot, Ian, for Will, to tell Ian. Just we are really grateful. Thank you.
I'll share the thanks to Janne for sure immediately. Thank you.
Elena, please.
Okay, thank you. Just a quick word. I totally agree with Sandrina. I think the feedback is quite positive, even if the process is not so smooth as that. But on the end, it was a very good experience. But maybe this word is more for Luis and Nuno, because listening all these presentations from the second and the third batch, I can identify many connections between the challenge and the challenge have been dealt with different companies. So I can figure a lot of possibilities for future projects and future collaborations, and probably colleagues identify many others. So what if we could continue to do something with this? Just to finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Anyone more wants to comment or share some idea or thinking? So, Nuno Pina, would you like to say something?
Well, as a resume, I would like to thank you all for your participation. As you have already said, it's not a simple process, but it's a very good process. It has very good outputs and very good experiences that are learned for your lectures and for your courses. So you can apply that, and it's also important this kind of multicultural experience, and at the same time this possibility to interchange the all this way of knowing better our colleagues from the other schools. So I think it's really important also that is when you work together, you realize that the colleagues from other schools are people that you really like very much to work with, and you didn't know and you didn't realize that because you didn't have that experience. So it's really important also that. So I would like to thank you all and to say that the outputs were very interesting, and I think that at the main global result, it's really very much positive. So thank you all, and I hope that we have some people here that may be collaborating with us on the future. They will be very welcome. Thank you all.
Okay. I just want to acknowledge to Pedro Bell that support us during this process. Thank you, Pedro. And if no one more wants to share something, we will finish this workshop. Thank you, everyone. We want to see you and your projects. Thank you, Will. And have a nice day. Thank you very much.